This video is brought to you by Cool Green Clothing.
Don't know now, you know, man. Come check them out, man. Flat out.
Oh, they
That's
know
what we
now.
doing.
They waking up. They
That's
waking
always
up.
what we doing. You
They
feel me?
waking
It's
up.
a whole lot of that shit going on right now. You dig?
All
You know what I
righty,
mean?
bro.
You see the hat dripping, you see the shirt dripping.
Exactly, man. Nigga dripping all on the cement out this
Get
bitch,
it right.
man.
You feel me? We dripping
My
all
man dripping all on the cement.
Yes, sir. You
Yes,
feel
sir,
me?
man.
Yeah.
How to do it, man.
Shout out, man. Shout out to Cool Green, man. You feel me? Variety of stuff, man. You feel me? Good dude for real. You know what I mean? His design is impeccable, man. You know what I mean? It speaks for itself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It speaks for itself for real.
For itself, man.
But who could really rock it like I rock it? You heard?
What's going on, YouTube fam? This your boy Tony 2Times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story. Subscribe if you're new to the fam. Hit that notification bell for future uploads. Let's get right into it. Public enemy number one has been a term cooked up by police and authorities to target certain individuals who they feel like did a crime so terrible it should be first priority. A lot of times it's shooting multiple people or opening fire in a public place, which nowadays, for whatever reasons, it's a lot of that. We all know in the streets, it's the streets, and in certain environments, life is cheap. It doesn't take much for a green light to be put on your head. It can be for anything. Someone doesn't like the way you move, or you are stepping on toes, trapping in a certain neighborhood. For example, you might be selling dimes on a block known for selling 20s, cutthroating everybody, and putting a target on your back. Some beats are on site, and that's when it gets dangerous, when innocent people are in a place and two people at war bump into each other. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we will discuss a case that left a man being labeled public enemy number one and getting a life sentence. According to sources, at about 1 o'clock p.m. on Friday the 22nd, 2016, a police sergeant was patrolling near the Walbrook Junction shopping center when someone approached frantic, telling police it had just been a shooting. People were hit and needed help. As BPD arrived to the shopping center, they noticed an elderly female who had been shot, bleeding from her head and a wound to her leg. While treating her, not too far away was an elderly man also hit. The victims were identified as brother and sister, 92-year-old Martha Gillett and 82-year-old Hogan McGill. Fortunately, as ambulance arrived, the two victims would survive. People in the area were mad because of the situation and pointed BPD in the direction of a nearby Rite Aid with up-to-date surveillance equipment that showed different areas of the location. Investigating the tape, even though it had no sound, it allegedly clearly showed two men walking from opposite directions towards each other in the shopping center. As they got close, one man upped the blick and started firing at the other man. The smoke from the gun could be seen in the video as the intended target ducked and broke out running, unfazed, getting out the jam. The trigger man also broke out. With no mask, the way he ran was in perfect angle for the camera to catch his face. The next day, police went back to the area to show people photos of the shooter. Also, a $12K reward was put out for the man. Still mad, two older innocent people were hit. Some people told police a nickname, Ant-Man. Still needing a real name, 2 days later, the news broadcast the shooting and posted it on Facebook when the lady watching recognized the suspect as someone she had just rented a room to, Carl Cooper. At the time, and later testimonies, Carl's landlord stated she didn't tell police because Carl's wife informed her she was going to turn him in. With evidence and an identification, BPD were on the hunt for Carl, who is now nowhere to be found. And with two previous attempted hits already on his record, he was labeled public enemy number one. By this time on the run, Carl reached out to his wife, telling her, "My face been all on the news for like 2-3 days, and I know you're not going down to no police station telling on me." Even though no one passed away in the shooting, the fact that two elderly siblings just shopping minding their business were hit and not even the intended target had the community heated. Carl stayed on the run for about 2 weeks, but with constant communication, Calling back uptown, U.S. Marshals tracked him down to Fayetteville, North Carolina, where he was eventually picked up and extradited back to Baltimore. He faced 3 attempted murder charges, handgun violations, and other charges. Once at trial, witnesses took the stand. Also, surveillance video was showed to the jury. With Carl's previous convictions, even though the attempts on the siblings were dropped to the lesser charge of assault, the state still found Carl guilty on the attempt of the unknown man who he was aiming for in the first place and gun charges. Carl was sentenced to life in prison with all but 50 years suspended. More of this story, don't set yourself up for failure, even if the beef was that serious. Opening fire in a crowded place with innocent people around puts everybody at risk. Some people just see red and feel like it's go time just to cause more harm, and the real target still gets away. And now you got a life sentence for shooting an elderly brother and sister. I understand certain beefs are on site, but on site could mean anywhere. Do you really want to throw your life away and put innocent people in your beef? But hey, that's the Baltimore way. Man, crazy situation, you feel me? We hear about stories like this all the time. Wrong people getting hit, the intended target get away, don't even get touched. And the crazy thing about this situation, they had it all on surveillance. You know, the neighborhood was so mad. It happened in the junction. They were so mad, they just felt like, man, you feel me? At the end of the day, these older people got hit, and some people came forward and gave a name. They gave a nickname, but then when police ran the nickname, they linked it, then put it on the news. Then the lady called in his landlord. You feel me? Everybody pretty much gave him up in the situation. He tried to go to North Carolina, but by that time, you feel me, he kept calling uptown to check on his wife, and they already had tracked him down. So he was only on the run 2 weeks. Fortunately, nobody lost their life in this situation. You feel me? Carl ended up getting 50 years. They tried to say, basically, because he had 2 other attempts on his record, that he was like public enemy #1 because he was shooting in public places and stuff like that, man. Crazy situation, crazy story, you feel me? It don't even be worth it at the end of the day. You know, it was probably a petty situation. I don't know what the initial beef was about, but when he synced them, he didn't even try to get up close on him. He just started blicking off. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it was in a crowded area. People was around. These 2 siblings was shopping. They had nothing to do with nothing, and they got hit, man. But y'all already know, man. That's how it be. But let me know what y'all think about this one. Be sure to tap that like button. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. It's your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam. I'm out.